Some pirates kidnap you. They demand a ransom of 20 silver talents. You laugh at them, not nervously, not politely. You genuinely laugh in their faces. And then you tell them the ransom is too low. You are worth at least 50. The pirates are confused. They raise the ransom to 50. You spend the next 38 days on their ship. You tell them with a smile that when you get out, you're going to come back and crucify every single one of them. They think you're joking. You are not joking. The ransom gets paid. You leave. You immediately hire ships, chase them down, and crucify every single one of them exactly as promised. That's Julius Caesar, and honestly, that's the least unhinged thing he ever did. You are born in 100 BCE in Rome. Your family is old nobility, old enough to claim they're descended from the goddess Venus herself. Modest people, very grounded. But here's the thing about your family: old name, no money. Your father is a minor official who dies when you are 16. Suddenly, you're the man of the house with a noble name, political connections, and basically nothing in your bank account, which in Rome meant you had two options. Option A: stay quiet, make smart marriages, slowly build wealth. Be patient, be careful, be boring. Option B: be Julius Caesar. You pick option B. At 17, you marry Cornelia, daughter of a powerful political figure. Smart move. Then Rome's most powerful general, Sulla, takes over the city and demands you divorce her. Everyone divorces their wives when Sulla says to. That's just the rule. You say no. Sulla is so confused by this that he decides not to kill you. Instead, he strips you of everything: your inheritance, your wife's dowry, your priesthood. All of it gone. Your family begs you to just do what Sulla wants. You go on the run instead, because apparently 17-year-old Julius Caesar would rather be a fugitive than compromise on a marriage. The man had a code, questionable in some areas, extremely consistent in others. Here's the thing people don't understand about Caesar's early career. He was not supposed to be the guy. He was not the most powerful, not the richest, not the best connected. What he had was something else entirely. He was the most relentlessly, aggressively, unapologetically ambitious person in any room he walked into. In Rome's political system, you needed to climb a specific ladder: quaestor, aedile, praetor, consul. Every rung took time, money, and allies. Caesar borrowed enormous sums of money to fund public games for the people of Rome. He made himself popular not by being powerful, but by being entertaining. By his 30s, Caesar is politically visible but not yet dominant. He needs a big move, so he does something that Roman politicians had been doing for centuries. He forms an alliance. He calls up two of the most powerful men in Rome: Pompey the Great, the most celebrated general alive; Crassus, the richest man in the world. Gentlemen, together we run everything. Separately, we fight each other and someone else wins. What do you say? I'm in. I'm in. The Roman Senate sees three of the most powerful men in Rome shake hands and immediately starts having collective heart palpitations. This alliance, called the First Triumvirate, essentially ran Rome. Caesar became consul in 59 BC, and then he got something even better: an army. Caesar is appointed governor of Gaul. Gaul is modern-day France, plus Belgium, Switzerland, and parts of Germany. The people living there have never been conquered by Rome. They've tried, it hasn't gone well. For Rome, Caesar spends the next 8 years fixing that problem. He fights somewhere between 50 and 100 military engagements across Gaul. He crosses the Rhine into Germania twice just to intimidate the Germanic tribes. He builds a bridge across the Rhine in 10 days. He crosses the English Channel and invades Britain. Twice in 8 years, he kills or enslaves over 1 million people and brings the entire region under Roman control. He also writes it all down himself in real time. His Gallic Wars commentaries are one of the earliest examples of a leader writing his own PR while actively conducting the war. Latin teachers have been torturing students with those books for 2000 years. You're welcome, education. Here's the number that puts the Gallic Wars in perspective. Caesar's army at the start, roughly 40,000 men. By the end of the campaign, he had expanded, organized, and personally trained an army of 10 legions, roughly 50,000 to 60,000 soldiers, who were personally loyal not to Rome, loyal to Caesar. The Senate had been watching this happen for 8 years, and they were not happy about it. Because the rule was when you finish a military command, you give up your army and come back to Rome as a civilian. That rule existed for a reason. A general with a loyal army who comes back to Rome is not really coming back as a civilian. He's coming back as a problem. And Caesar knew they knew this. 49 BCE, the Senate sends Caesar an ultimatum: disband your army, come back to Rome, face charges. Translation: come back alone so we can destroy you politically. Caesar reads the message. He looks at the Rubicon River in front of him, the legal boundary he cannot cross with troops. He looks at his army. He thinks for a moment and then he says, and this is an actual quote, the die is cast, and he crosses. The Senate panics. Pompey, Caesar's former ally, is now on the Senate's side. He grabs his troops and runs to Greece. Caesar moves so fast through Italy that cities just open their gates. Nobody actually wants to fight him. Within 3 months, Caesar controls Italy without a single major battle. Then he chases Pompey to Greece. Pompey has twice as many soldiers. Caesar defeats him anyway at the Battle of Pharsalus. Pompey runs to Egypt. And here's where it gets genuinely wild. Egypt's boy pharaoh, Ptolemy XIII, is trying to impress Caesar. So when Pompey arrives on Egyptian shores, Ptolemy has him killed and sends his head to Caesar as a gift. Caesar reportedly cried, not out of grief, out of calculation, because Pompey was Caesar's enemy, but Pompey was also a Roman consul and Caesar's former son-in-law. The correct reaction was outrage. So Caesar performed outrage. Then he looked around Egypt and noticed something more interesting. A queen who needed help winning a civil war against her brother. Her name was Cleopatra VII, and she was wrapped in a carpet. The Cleopatra rolled in a carpet story is real, or at least ancient sources report it. She needed to get to Caesar past her brother's guards. The solution was to be smuggled in as a rolled up bundle of fabric. She met Caesar. They formed an alliance. Caesar helped her defeat her brother and become the undisputed ruler of Egypt. They also had a son together named Caesarion, Little Caesar, which is either extremely on brand or deeply on brand. Caesar spent almost a year in Egypt before returning to Rome, and when he left, Cleopatra eventually followed him to Rome, the queen of Egypt. In Rome, living at Caesar's private villa. The Roman establishment was absolutely thrilled about this. They were not. Back in Rome, Caesar is declared dictator, then dictator again, then dictator for 10 years, then finally dictator perpetual, dictator forever, which is a title that sounds like something you'd put on a business card if you had absolutely zero social awareness. To be fair to Caesar, he actually used the power well. He reformed the calendar, the Julian calendar, which we still use today. In modified form, he redistributed land to veterans, he reduced debt, he started massive building projects across Rome. Caesar, the Senate is concerned about the concentration of power. Tell the Senate I understand their concerns. And I will think about them while I'm being dictator forever. But here's the problem. Rome was a republic, 700 years of no kings. That was the whole thing. And Caesar is now dictator forever, dating the queen of Egypt, wearing purple robes and letting people put his face on coins while he's still alive, which in Rome was reserved for gods. The Senate was watching a man become something that Rome had spent centuries explicitly deciding it would never have again. And about 60 of them decided to do something about it, led by two men, Gaius Cassius Longinus, the planner, Marcus Junius Brutus, Caesar's close friend, yes, his friend. March 15th, 44 BCE, the Ides of March. Caesar has been warned. His wife Calpurnia had a nightmare. She begged him not to go to the Senate. He went anyway, because Julius Caesar did not do staying home. He walks into the Senate. The conspirators surround him under the pretense of presenting a petition. One grabs his toga, then the knives come out. 23 stab wounds. Caesar falls at the base of a statue of Pompey. His last words: Shakespeare gave us et tu, brute. Ancient sources give us nothing confirmed. Here's the detail that closes everything. Of Caesar's 23 stab wounds, only one was fatal. One, which means 22 of the 60 conspirators stabbed him and didn't actually kill him. The irony is that they probably killed each other more than they killed Caesar. Several conspirators accidentally stabbed each other in the chaos. Also, his will. Caesar left 75 silver denarii to every single Roman citizen, and his private gardens as a public park for the people of Rome. The people of Rome burned the Senate chamber. They chased the conspirators out of the city. And eventually, Caesar's adopted son Octavian became Augustus, the first Roman emperor. The Republic the senators killed Caesar to protect died within 20 years anyway. The man who stabbed Julius Caesar to save the Republic destroyed it in the process. History has a very specific sense of humor. That's Julius Caesar, not the marble statue version, not the Shakespeare version, the actual person, the kid who told pirates their ransom was too low, the man who crossed a river and said the die is cast like he was narrating his own movie. He lived every single day like the stakes were maximum, because for him they were. Could you do what he did? Probably not, but honestly, could anyone? If you made it here, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next live. LoreVox out.